Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, will talk with us. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, starting off with 144,000, which will be the ruling governing body in the kingdom of heaven, which will be all men, 144,000. Also to a lot of the 1/3 here in America, which will be men, women, and children that be saved on this side, that be believers. 2/3 of our people here in America will be destroyed in Babylon the Great. You also have the rebels that are scattered abroad in different countries that will be destroyed. And you have some elect that's scattered abroad that will be saved. And who the world willingly and ignorantly calls black, Hispanic, Native American, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican, Haitian, Guatemalans, and Panamanians, Cubans, right? We are the Israelites, contrary to what people believe. I am Brother Yeromia coming back at y'all with another lesson, right? Hey, you got a lot of things going on right now, man. You got Iran, man. They hit they hit a U.S. What you call it, a air base or the embassy or something like that. You got a lot of things going on, man. So yeah, they hit a U.S. embassy. So they fight back, man. We're in a time of great destruction, right? Great evil, right? Great death, right? And these nations, right, in that area, Iran, and every country, even the country besides Iran, these countries are gonna fight back, man. And that's what they doing, right? Whether it's the distraction or not, it's a part of prophecy, man. Let me get this in 2nd Esdras 15, in verse 28. It says, "Behold, and a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east," right? And that's that side of the world, right? Because we're in the west here in America. It says, "Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots." And they fight jets, missiles, right? It says, "The multitude of them that should be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, which are the Iranians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood," right? "And join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians," right? And these things are happening, man. "And when the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these should be troubled blade and keep silence through their power and flee," right? So, hey, Iran, man, they are fighting back, man. They not scared, man. They showing the U.S. what's up. They showing them not to mess with them, right? And Iran, if I'm not mistaken, right, they're allies with Russia, man. So World War III is gonna go full blown soon. But the MOTB has to be at the door, man, as well. Since this is happening, it gotta be, because before they, like I said, before it goes full blown, that has to take place. That prophecy doesn't take place yet. So we real close, man. We real close, right? We real close, right? And let me see. My family go back, and then let me see. Let me look up something real quick. Slovakia. Really, we know America is basically all these ancient civilizations in one. Babylon, ancient, Assyrians. So you could also say, brothers and elders can correct me on that. In this sense, where it talks about they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, because eventually they're gonna shoot something over here. When, like I said, when World War III goes full blown, that will happen. So you know, these nations, man, hey, they not scared. You know, they are not scared. Let me see. Let me go to Isaiah real quick. Isaiah 9 and verse 5, it says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise," right? A sword clanging, men screaming. You know, hey, you got cannons going off as far as, you know, ancient wars, right? Men getting stabbed, right? Men fighting hand-to-hand combat, right? Garments running blood, but they should be with burning the fuel of fire. So, you know, this next great world war, World War III, which is pretty much here, right? It's gonna be, you know, missiles being shot when it's going full blown, right? These are small little missiles being shot back and forth, you know, to Iran and Israel and, you know, these different places, you know. But that division is high, right? Because these you know, Iranians are over there, they heathen too, you know. And you got, of course, you got the people over there in our homeland. They Edomites, right? But they all fight against each other, man. You know, the Lord said He came to send division on the earth. This is Luke 12 and 51, right? It says, "Suppose ye that I've come to give peace on earth, I tell you, nay, but rather division." You see, that's why you have these different nations going back and forth with each other. And the scriptures tell you the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. So the wicked, they're constantly causing, you know, strife and contention on the earth, man. And that's these Edomites, man. They mess with everybody, right? What does it say? Let me go to you know, they mess with these different countries, you know, because they want to. You know, that's what Esau likes doing, right? It's just Micah 2 verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity," right? Evil, sin, and they work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of the hand, right? It's in the power of the hand. It's in their control, so they know they can, you know, go mess with these different nations, you know. But eventually, it's gonna come to the point to where they fight back, and that's what they're doing now. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and they take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, and even his heritage. Right? And that's what they do, man. You know, Iran got, you know, when these Edomites attack these different countries, or these small hats attack a country for no reason to just start shit, you know, keep doing shit. They do it for a reason, man. They got something that they want, you know, or they not complying or something, you know, with what they want. Because Esau running stuff behind the scenes anyway, you know. This is verse 3. It says, "Therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall you go out haughtily, for this time is evil." Right? And that's what time we in now, man. You know, this time is evil. Right? You know, so, hey, right here it says, Iran escalates retaliatory strikes as U.S. signals long battle. You know, yeah, man, we in this time. You know, we in this time. These things they're gonna continue to happen more and more. Right? You know, you're not gonna hear about them less and less. You know, there's a lot of things going on. You know, these things always say the same thing. It says U.S. Embassy and Riyadh struck by drones. 6 U.S. service members killed since start of war. Right? And always remember, before there's peace, there is war, man. It's balance. You know, there's balance. And Iran, they definitely have something to do with oil and gas and all that. So expect these things to go up in the next, week or so, more than likely. You know, and we know these Americans, man, they already going through it. Everything's already high as hell. So hey, this man the devil, man. These E's, man, they don't care about nobody but themselves, man. War will happen. That's coming to a city near you here in America, Babylon the Great. That's why these nations, when they see America, Babylon the Great, they're going to be like, oh, but at the same time, they're going to be happy. Let me see. So, Revelations. This is why this is going to happen, man, because the wickedness that they've done. This is Revelations 18, verse 7. It says, I'll start at verse 5. It says, for her sins have reached into heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Talking about America will reward her, even as she have rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and a double cup which she hath filled to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, right? It says, so much torment and sorrow gave her, right? For she said in her heart, I said a queen and no widow, right? A widow is a woman whose husband has died, right? And shall see no sorrow, right? Which this place, America, Babylon the Great, all your allies, all the people that was, with you, hey, they're gonna return against you. And that's what's happening, man. Because of your bullshit, right? And you keep doing sneaky shit, man. Nobody can trust you, right? So this is gonna come to you, right? It says how much she have glorified herself. Sorry, right there, Salakia. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she should be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her. So they're gonna be, looking and like damn, when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So, they're going to be well and be, kind of like, they're going to be concerned and all that, but they're going to, at the same time, they're going to be happy, right? Because you've caused hell upon the earth, man, in these different nations, right? So, that's a good thing. All these nations, they're going to team up, right? Let me see, in the book of Jeremiah, it says, spare no arrows. Salakia. Jeremiah 50 and verse 14, it says, put yourselves in array against Babylon, round about all you that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows. Talking about missiles, right? For she hath sinned against the Lord. You see? So we're not surprised these things are happening, right? But they're going to continue to escalate, right? Continue to escalate, So, yeah, man, these are the Comanians, man, and they raging, they remembering their nature, they remembering that they ain't no, punks, man, because let me go back to the second Esdras, right? What was that, second Esdras, 15 and like 30? Let me see. Because, like I said earlier, the modern day Assyrians is pretty much America as well. Like I said, I know it said it's also that land over there, Iran and what did it say? Not the UAE, but just other countries over there around that landmass. America's all these different countries wrapped in one. And America's, is the one who started it. American, the small huts. But these nations, they're going to fight back, and they're not going to be scared. And it's causing fearfulness, man. These are times that we in. right? So I'm not gonna read, this all the way down. They just know that World War III is here, man. And it ain't gonna stop. It might die down a little bit, but like I said, before it goes full blown, that MOTB has to take place, man. It has to take place. It's privacy. So hey, keep watching, keep on the lookout, Jake. YASHAMIAHLA is making things happen on the earth. And I'm gonna close out on this one. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect.